Samuel stood by her grave. The ground was still fresh. The flowers on top were already beginning to bend under the weight of the earth. People stood around him, but everything felt far away, like noise underwater. His wife, Esther, was gone. The wind moved slowly across the cemetery. It touched his face, but he did not feel it. His eyes stayed on the small wooden cross with her name written on it. Esther Nwosu, wife, mother. Behind him, his 3 children cried. Clara, the first child, stood closest to him. She was 16. She tried to be strong, but her shoulders kept shaking. Tears ran down her face without stopping. She held her 2 younger brothers, close like she was protecting them from breaking apart. Peter, 12 years old, was crying loudly. He did not try to hide it. His voice broke every time he called, Mama, Mama, as if she might still answer him. Emmanuel, the youngest at 9, did not even speak. He just held Clara's hand tight and cried quietly, like he had no strength left for sound. Samuel wanted to go to them, but his legs felt heavy. His wife had always been the one who held the home together. Now the home felt empty, like something had been removed from inside it. Friends and family stood behind them. Some prayed softly, some just watched. No one knew what to say that would make sense of this kind of pain. My name is Patience, and this is a story about a woman who left behind letters no one ever read while she was alive, and what those letters finally revealed after she was gone. When the burial finished, people began to leave one by one. Hugs were given, hands were shaken, words like "be strong" and "God knows best" were said, but they all sounded distant to Samuel. He did not follow anyone home. He stayed until the graveyard became quiet. Clara finally pulled the boys gently. "Let's go home," she whispered. Peter shook his head. "I don't want to go home. Mama is not there." But they still left. That night, the house was silent in a way it had never been before. No cooking sound. No Esther calling from the kitchen. No soft humming while she washed plates. Even the clock on the wall sounded too loud. Samuel sat in the sitting room alone after the children had gone to sleep. Clara had forced the boys to lie down, but no one slept easily. He could hear quiet movement from their rooms. Nobody was resting in peace. Samuel stood up and walked slowly into their bedroom. The room still smelled faintly like her body cream. Her side of the bed was untouched since the hospital took her away. He stood there for a long time, looking at it like she might still come back if he waited enough. Then he noticed something, a small box under the bed. He bent down and pulled it out. It was old, dusty, tied with a simple rope. His hands shook as he opened it. Inside were letters, dozens of letters, all written in Esther's handwriting. Samuel's heart beat faster. He did not understand. Esther never mentioned this box. Never once. He sat on the floor and opened the first letter. The paper was slightly yellow, but the words were clear. "I don't know if I will ever give you this," it began. Samuel swallowed hard. He read slowly. The letter spoke about their early marriage, about how happy she pretended to be, about how she smiled even when she was tired, about how she loved him deeply, but sometimes felt invisible beside him. Samuel's chest tightened. He opened another letter, then another. Each one felt heavier than the last. One letter was written after Clara was born. "I held my daughter today and smiled for everyone," it said. But inside I was crying. "I am scared I am not enough for this home." Samuel's hand pressed against his face. He remembered that time. He remembered her quietness, but he never asked why. Another letter came after Peter was born. "I think Samuel is tired of me," she wrote. "I try to talk, but I stop myself. I don't want to disturb his mind." Samuel's breathing became uneven. He kept reading. Some letters were short, some were long, some had dates, some did not. But all of them carried one thing, feelings she never spoke aloud. In one letter, she wrote something that made him stop completely. "If I ever die before I say everything, please forgive me for not being brave enough while I was alive." Samuel froze. The room felt colder. He looked around like she might be standing somewhere, watching him read her secrets. But she was not there. Only the letters remained. He gathered them slowly, holding them close to his chest like they were fragile pieces of her life. From the hallway, he heard a soft sound. Clara was awake. "Papa," her voice called gently. Samuel quickly wiped his face and closed the box. "Yes," he answered. There was a pause. "I had a dream. Mama was crying, Clara said quietly. She was trying to talk, but no one could hear her. Samuel closed his eyes. He did not answer immediately, because suddenly, he was no longer sure if what he was holding was just paper, or everything his wife had never been able to say while she was alive. Samuel did not sleep that night. He sat on the floor beside the box until morning came. The letters were still in his hands when the first light entered the room. His eyes were red, but he did not close them. Clara came into the room quietly. "Papa, you did not sleep." Samuel looked at her, then at the box. "I found something," he said softly. Clara sat beside him without speaking. Peter and Emmanuel followed after. They looked tired, like they had cried through the night. Samuel opened the box again. This time, he did not read alone. He took one letter out and held it. "This one is from your mother," he said. His voice broke a little, but he continued. He opened it. "Samuel, I don't know how to say this to your face, so I am writing it here. Every day in this house, I feel like I am living beside you, but not with you. You work hard. I know. You provide. I see it. But I miss you, even when you are sitting next to me. Sometimes I want to talk to you, but I stop myself because you look so tired. So I stay quiet, and slowly, I am becoming someone who does not speak anymore." Samuel stopped reading. Clara covered her mouth. Peter whispered, "Mama wrote this?" Samuel nodded slowly. "Yes." He picked another letter. His hands were shaking now. "Samuel, I cooked your favorite food today. You ate it fast and went back to your phone. I sat there watching you. You did not look at me once. I laughed loudly, so the children would not notice I was sad. But after everyone slept, I cried in the bathroom. Not because you were bad, but because I feel like I am slowly disappearing in my own home." Silence filled the room. Emmanuel moved closer to Samuel and held his arm tightly. Samuel did not stop. He opened another letter. "Today Clara asked me why I don't smile like I used to. I told her I am fine. But the truth is, I don't even know when I stop feeling fine. Samuel, I still love you. But I am tired of loving alone inside a marriage where I don't know if you still see me as your woman or just the mother of your children." Clara started crying again. "I never knew," she whispered. She was always smiling. Samuel closed his eyes. "I didn't know too," he said painfully. He opened another letter. This one felt heavier. "Samuel, if I die one day, please don't tell the children I was strong. I was not always strong. I was just quiet. There were nights I wanted to leave the room and never come back. But I stayed, because I believed one day you would look at me again the way you used to." Peter broke down completely. "I remember that night she sat in the kitchen alone," he cried. "I thought she was just thinking." Samuel pulled him close. He opened the last letter in the box. His hands were now trembling, so much he almost dropped it. "Samuel, if you are reading this after I am gone, then I finally said what I could not say when I was alive. I was never angry at you. I was just lonely beside you. And I am sorry for not being brave enough to tell you before it became too late. Take care of Clara, Peter, and Emmanuel. Tell them I love them deeply. And if you ever miss me, don't only remember my silence. Remember that I tried, in my own quiet way, to love this home until I could not anymore." Samuel stopped reading. The room was completely silent now. Even the air felt heavy. Clara leaned on him and cried into his shoulder. Peter held the box like it might disappear. Emmanuel just kept whispering, "Mama, Mama." Samuel finally spoke, but his voice was broken. "She was here all this time and I did not see her." No one answered him, because there was no answer for that. Later that evening, Samuel went to the sitting room alone. He placed all the letters on the table and read them again. Slowly, not like a man reading paper, but like a man meeting his wife for the first time after losing her. He saw her in every line, not the quiet woman who cooked and smiled, but the woman who was slowly breaking inside a house that never noticed. A soft sound came from behind him. Clara stood there. "Papa," she said gently, "are we going to be okay?" Samuel looked at her, then at the letters, then at the empty space in the house where Esther used to stand. He wiped his face slowly. "I don't know," he said honestly. Then he added, "But we will not forget her again. Not like this." Clara nodded through tears. That night, Samuel did something he had never done before. He placed one letter on Esther's side of the bed, just one, and whispered into the empty room, I am sorry. I was there, but I did not listen. The house stayed quiet, but for the first time since the burial, it did not feel completely empty. It felt like someone had finally been heard. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more.